Hello, Guts and Grace. Welcome to Thursday evening, whatever time zone you are in. Can I just take a moment to say we have four ladies on every time zone here, and what a miracle it is to get that arranged. And we all have kids, and so it's like let's just take that in for a quick second. So you might be on the Pacific, getting dinner ready. You might be on the Eastern. Let's head to bed. So we're gonna try and keep this nice and short and sweet for you, really coming at you to just share why we value commitment and consistency and communication, not only to yourself, but working together with your Plexus friend, your sponsor, whoever introduced you to these products. But then also, you're going to hear a little bit about my story and how I did not do those things for 90 days. And it kind of bit me in the butt. But then on the flip side, we're going to hear some really great testimonies all the way up to 7+ years of how being consistent, being faithful, being committed to this process, being committed to yourself, how these things can flourish in your life, the results that you can get. Everybody's going to be totally different. No results is the same for every single person. Despite us all taking the same stuff, it's going to be so dependent on you, your health issues, your habits, your everything. So don't be discouraged walking away from this being, oh, I'm not there yet. It's coming. Talk to your friend, work together with them. But I hope that this can give you a little bit of hope into what is ahead for you. So let's just talk quickly about the 3 C's. These are the biggest things in your toolbox when you are coming and taking your Plexus products. The first one, commitment. And I'm not just talking about being committed to 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, whatever, 7 years. I'm talking commitment to yourself as well. The habits that you are currently doing that have led you to this point in your life are not helping you. And that is something that I had to really grasp and kind of chew on and realize, my late night runs to the ice cream store aren't helping me in this health journey that I want to get better at and want to, be released from. And so when I talk committed, I want you to really think I am worth this time. I am worth these products. I'm worth the investment into myself in this so that I can be more present of a mom, a more present of a wife, a more present of an employee, a more present of a me, just someone who you feel like the best you. So think that in the back of your head. Don't look at the long term necessarily. Have the belief of long term that yes, I'm committed to these products. I'm not just looking for a quick fix, but don't get so hung up on, oh my gosh, I have this long journey ahead of me, that you forget the commitment of day-to-day actions and day-to-day vision and belief. And so a lot of times people get really hung up, oh, I haven't lost 20 pounds in 60 days, or, my migraines aren't gone miraculously overnight, or I don't know, whatever, my acne isn't gone. It takes time. And so you have to really walk these things every single day and realize I'm going to focus on the healthy daily actions for today. Just today, I'm going to do my best. If I slip up a little bit, no big deal. I'm going to do my best. And tomorrow's a new day and I'll start over and I will focus on that day. So kind of two different realms of commitment, looking at the day to day, but then also realizing this is not a quick fix. Everybody is so different and on their own journey that you really need to think, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not looking to go back to how I was. I'm not looking to feeling gross. I'm not looking to lose a bunch of weight and then gain more back on a fad diet or anything. I am looking for long-term sustaining health and happiness and just feeling like the best you. The second most important C is consistency, because let's be honest, the products can't work unless you take them every single day, right? And this is something I failed huge at in my first 60, 90 days. I was super prideful, if I can just have a little humble pie right now. I thought I know everything about this. They're just supplements. I mean, how difficult, how complicated can they be? Whatever. But I was so used to kind of this whenever you're feeling like an ailment kind of pill culture where you just pop something in for a certain specific time period and then you don't take it again for a while. That is not this. This is like brushing your teeth, which you should be doing every day. Okay, brushing your teeth, exercise, drinking your water, eating those greens. It's things that we should be doing every single day to help our body be its best. And so, some things that I use to help me be consistent, I use reminders on my phone. Literally, put alarms in my phone at 12 p.m. Take my Slim. At 8 p.m. Take my BioCleanse or whatever it was. I worked with my sponsor, Mara Lisa, and I told her, hey, I'm not being consistent because she kept asking me, how are you doing? What changes are you seeing, good or bad? How can I help you? And I said, I'm not being consistent, just straight up. The only thing I'm consistent on is active. And that is the only thing that is getting me through my day. And she goes, do you want me to call you at, let's say, noon to remind you to take your hunger control? And I said, sure, because clearly I'm not doing it myself. So I need like an intervention. And I will tell you, just her saying that got my butt into gear because I was putting those alarms on my phone because I wanted to be the good student, right? The good person's like, I didn't need you to call me. I took my supplements all on my own. I'm a big girl. But actually, like 2 weeks of that, of her every day calling or texting me, did you take your supplements? Got my butt into gear where I didn't need her to like do that anymore. It was just a natural rhythm of my day. And so don't be afraid to be like me and reach out to your friend, reach out to a buddy that maybe you signed up with and say, let's keep each other accountable, because you've got to take them for them to work, just straight up. They're not going to do its thing on the counter. The last little bit is communication. Work with the person who introduced you to Plexus. If they're not doing it or you don't really know who to go to, ask like who the upline is. Reach out to GG Info, reach out to one of us. We can get you hooked up with someone who can be there for you and talk to you, because these products, even though pretty much the masses are on the same thing, they can be so customized to you, to your daily rhythm of life, to your health struggles, to your ability to take them. I have people who work really, really late and they can't take ProBio 5 right at nighttime because they're basically eating a meal at the same time. So I work with them to figure out what's the best game plan, because there is no perfect time to take these things. Everybody is so different, and it's more important to take them every day imperfectly than to stress about a perfect system that you always have to follow. It's not like that. Plexus is supposed to fit into your life in the best way that it can, and that's going to change over time. So these are why this is important. I never thought communicating with my sponsor was a big deal, and she knows this. I'm being totally honest. I I had to tell her, like, I thought you were really annoying at first, because I was like, why is this girl, like, I don't know you. I didn't know my sponsor. I found her on Facebook. So if you're one of these people who like just happened to cross your Plexus friend just randomly in a group, that's me. I didn't really know her. I'm like, why is she always texting me? This is so weird. Like, my mom doesn't even text me this much. But it was because she cared. She was invested in my progress, in my wins, in my lows, because she's like, I know this struggle. I'm here to help give you the tips that I've gleaned and learned. I want to help get you there, because you're not going to feel good. You're not going to get the results you're looking for without time, without commitment, consistency, and then talking to your friends so they can work with you when things come up. And so a couple other little tips, besides using the reminders on my phone and having her call me, was I also use pill boxes. And to this day, I still have them right on my counter like an old person. All right. All my little pills, every single day I see them. For me, I'm a visual person. I need this. Some of you might do fine having them hidden away in a cabinet. Maybe you need to stuff them in your purse so that you find them at work, your lunchbox, whatever. Figure out a system, no matter how nerdy it makes you feel or old, figure out a system that works for you to take them. Because again, they're not going to work when they're just on the counter. So I mentioned a little bit of my 90 days. I was none of these things. I was not communicating. I was not consistent. And I was kind of committed. I was like, listen, I need to lose like 25 pounds in about 4 months. And she's like, okay, I hear you. It's probably not going to happen like that. You need at least I want to encourage you at least 6 months on these supplements. And I was like, okay, yeah. I get that. Cool. I'll be committed for 6 months. Well, now, like almost 2 years later, I'm still taking these and I almost have to restart over because I had just had a baby in December. I had a round of antibiotics for a sinus infection. Like my body takes 6 months minimum to heal from one dose of antibiotics. So it's like I'm kind of back to square one, doing these same things, getting back into a new rhythm. And I'm going through different levels of detoxing and candida dying and all these things. And so I get it. It's hard to be consistent when you're craving these things, when you're tired at the end of the day. But this is why working with the person who referred you to Plexus is really important because they are your biggest cheerleader 100%. They are on your team and they are here for you. And that is something that I have found not intentionally in this community, not only with sharing Plexus with my friends and family and kind of using this to generate income for my family and myself, but I have found really, really dear friends in a time that I was extremely lonely. I had just left my full-time job to stay home. I was literally having like mental breakdowns there and couldn't handle it. It was 2021 after all the COVID stuff, everything was shut down. We live in a small town, nothing was open. I was kind of a new mom. Like I had two kids, but I never really got to know the community up here because we were relatively new. So it's like I had no friends and I was sitting at home. I have skills. I liked working. It just I needed to stay home for my mental health and for the betterment of my family. But I was like, I feel like I have more to give than just being a mom and homemaker. And I don't mean that in a bad way, right? But like I just felt like there's part of me that's missing that I like and now it's gone. And what do I do with this? And in comes Plexus. I just started sharing more. And I got to know these beautiful ladies, BK and Liz and Janessa, and a whole bunch of other people that aren't on this call but are in GG. And let me tell you, they have poured into me like no other. They've prayed for me. They have celebrated with me. They've cried. They've rooted me on. They've kept me accountable. They've done all sorts of things. They've been really, really dear friends in a time that I was super lonely, hating myself, hating my body, hating just what was happening, and missing a part of who I was. And I found that within Plexus again, but actually being able to help people this time and also keep my mental, stability at a healthy level, which is important. So that is one thing that I found not only with getting better, getting more healthy, but also finding friendship, finding a deeper community through sharing, through not sharing. And now I have like more tools and now I'm inviting my friends and my family into this community. And it's just been really awesome. And so that's just one little takeaway. Don't do what I did. That's the tip. Don't do what I did in 90 days. Keep the daily vision. Keep in the back of your mind, you got to be on this for the long haul. Rome wasn't built in a day. Be consistent and communicate with your friend, communicate with people in GG info. We are here for you 100%. And so now I want to talk and have Liz introduce herself and share a little bit of her story about 6 months and being a physician assistant and what these products have done for her on all sorts of levels. Go, Liz.
Hi. Thank you so much. First of all, I'm drinking my Restore. I'm on day 3 of my reset. So Restore, I'm looking forward to beautiful sleep tonight. So I'm a PA. I am a mama of 3, and I am married to a first grade teacher who's over here listening. Hopefully he doesn't comment. He is a funny guy. All right. So when I came to Plexus, I only had 2 kids. And actually, I just found out that I was pregnant with our third. And it came after that, he came after 2 losses. So I was feeling pretty nervous. But I also knew, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that if I jumped into Plexus, I was also going to use it to generate income. So I was like really looking forward with expectation that it was going to be able to allow me to create the income to be able to stay home from my job after I had this baby, and that I was going to find products that worked. So in my job, which I loved, it was incredible. I was working kind of in integrative family medicine where like 70% of my patients were on supplements and they wanted to change their diet, and they were recovering from things I was trained you never recover from. And they were doing it with supplementation and diet and mindset and what they believed about themselves and what their body was capable of doing. But then in my own family, we were kind of like, I just felt like we just kept getting knocked off our feet in terms of our health. And one of my kiddos, it was like every 3 weeks, there would be a runny nose, and it would be followed up with 3 or 4 days of reactive respiratory stuff where I would be like hovered over them, giving all sorts of stuff because I knew it was largely based in inflammation, but there's clearly some susceptibility here. Like, why is there this susceptibility? And I was already recommending magnesium and probiotics to all of my patients. And I was quite frankly unimpressed with what I saw in Plexus in terms of the probiotic and magnesium, but it was the testimonies that blew me away. And I was like, well, either everybody's lying or this stuff actually does something different. And right away, I invited one of my friends to try it with me. And I'm going to circle back around to her in a second. But so I started the triplex for myself, and I got the kids line for my kids, and we did that for about 6 months, and I started noticing difference, but I probably wasn't like, I shouldn't have even mentioned that it was the kids line because that doesn't matter. I don't know how consistent I was with my kids. What I remember was at the 6 month mark is when I got real consistent. And I remember like faithfully opening capsules every night and stirring it into a little bit of applesauce for them. And it was, so then probably like 2 or 3 months later, I get a message from that friend I invited to start with me, who was secretly drinking Slim. She wasn't letting anybody know. And she let me know that her food sensitivity labs came back and she had dropped 22 food sensitivities. And I was like, okay. And that was when she was like, I'm going to try everything. I'm trying everything. This stuff really works. So that really continued to encourage me. And so like really it was like at the 1 year mark of starting, but it was at the 6 month mark of getting real serious is when I realized we could get a runny nose and it didn't progress into full-blown lung stuff. And we weren't needing the acute respiratory things that we were needing beforehand. And it, like, if you have struggled through repeated just like hits in the health of your kids, it is traumatic. Because I would lay in bed, and I distinctly remember this, hugely pregnant with our third, and I heard from the other room my kiddo give a little cough while they were falling asleep. But I didn't get that rise in me that I normally would get of like, oh great, do I have all the tinctures? Do I have all the everything? Where is the neb? I relaxed and I went to sleep. And that was the first time I almost cried, like the relief that flooded through me. So I would say like it took persistence, but it was so worth it. So worth it. And it was right around, actually, it was 6 months, can't even think. Was it maybe a year later? My brain. Maybe it was at that, right around that 6 month mark, that I was able to create enough income to give us that buffer to bring me home, which was my goal. And that's not everybody's goal, but I know everybody has a goal in something. And so I'm so grateful that even though I had said never again, I will not ever do network marketing again, that I recognized these products work and that this compensation plan is awesome. And I gave it a go and invited people, because the other thing that's been so fabulous, like in my own life, is just getting to walk with other people and their health wins, like Jessica. Like it's fabulous. So that's my story. And now I'm going to hand it over to Janessa. And Janessa is my favorite massage therapist that I've never had a massage from, but I've actually given a massage to. And she has a terrific testimony that you're going to want to hear.
Thanks, Liz. I like that introduction. I am Janessa. I am a mom of 4 sweet babies. And my story, Plexus started for me about 6.5 years ago. But when I first started, I was postpartum with my first son, and I did start noticing some things right away. And I was blown away with how quickly it worked for me. But it wasn't until a year and then 2 years that the realization that some bigger things were going on that I had no idea. I didn't know that that gut health was tied to it and that it would really be helpful. I have dealt with pretty severe anxiety and depression since I can, probably 11 years old, where I would picture everybody's life would be better if I wasn't in it from such a young age. And I didn't know that wasn't normal, right? That was my life. I grew up like that. Like I felt like that all the time. I worried all the time about pleasing everybody and getting the right grade and doing the right thing. And I struggled with that for a really long time, alongside with all of my GI stuff that I thought was completely separate. I didn't know that they were tied together. And a lot of people don't. I'm finding that out. I'm not alone in that. But it wasn't until I started Plex. I started a gut health journey because I got sick in my early 20s, still dealing with pretty terrible anxiety, depression, on medication for it, living off of Xanax for the littlest things, and having some triggers that would send me over the edge. I don't even know how to describe it unless you're in it. And those of you that know, like, you know, when you fall into the deep, dark hole and you feel like you can't get out. And it's just kind of clawing your way out. The anxiety, I'd have huge panic attacks about the silliest little things. And now I can laugh about it and know that I was so silly. Like there were some triggers with texture, but like when I touch certain things, or if there was like OCD type stuff where if something wasn't lined right, I couldn't use it. I would have a freak out panic attack, sometimes involving some self-harm that I didn't even know I was doing in the moment. Now looking back, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe I was dealing with all of that. It was probably about a year into Plexus, and I had a lot of life happening, and I had a major panic attack again. And it wasn't until I had that attack that I realized that I hadn't had an attack for the whole year. I mean, for the whole year. And it hit me. There was a lot going on. And so it was like, it made sense that it was happening. And I have not had a panic attack like that since. And it took like a whole year for me to realize that. But how controlling of my life that was, and how sorry guys, but how much of my life revolved around my anxieties and my triggers and the things that the OCD things that I had. I don't have any of those now. I can use, it sounds like the texture things that set me off. Like I don't have those. I can touch the certain textures that used to bug me. I can use the items that used to bug me, and I would be paralyzed by it. And it has forever changed my life in that way. And I never saw that coming. I never thought that healing my gut and probably meeting people and strengthening my faith and all of these tools that come along, like you guys have mentioned, come along with Plexus, that has just, it's healed me. It's completely in that realm. And I'm so thankful, because I hated living off of Xanax and antidepressants and things that I thought were normal for me, but also made me feel like I was wrong, or, like I wasn't okay. Like, so it's just been huge. And now because of it, you guys, one of the biggest stressors in life is finances, and marriages fall apart because of it. And people go into like pretty terrible things when you don't have the finances, or you're so stressed about making ends meet. I am now able to provide income for my family where we can pay for the kids' sports. We can pay for the groceries. We can do fun things for our family. Like my paycheck is more than I was making as a massage therapist, more than I wanted to make as a massage therapist. I don't want to work that many hours doing massage. So I was like, I make more now than I did doing massage. I get to be home with my babies. I get to take that stress off of us so that we don't have those issues in our family. And I had no idea. That that's what it was going to do for me. So thanks for listening, guys. I'm going to send it on over to Bridget.
Goodness, am I supposed to follow that? I didn't know some of that story. That really got to me, you guys, because we know Janessa as just steady Eddie and wise and just such a faithful, loving friend. So, answered prayer here, you guys. Okay, so I'm Bridget Kroll. I go by BK. And this whole topic of like giving Plexus the time it needs to work hits kind of close to home because I started on Plexus and I quit just after 2 months. And like, I used the 60-day money back guarantee. Like I called in, I was like, I would like my money back, please. And this is so embarrassing. When I was thinking about this call, I'm like, really, what was it? Why did I quit? I basically quit because I couldn't remember to take the products. Also, I didn't really know how to take the products. So I was trying to figure that out myself. Not the best idea. Okay. So kind of embarrassing, right? But truly, I was coming into this with so much brain fog and so much low energy and super low mood. Things just felt very, very dark. I hadn't ever leaned towards the anxiety side of things, but definitely towards the depression side of things. I didn't even know that's what it was. I went to 2 Western medicine physicians and they were like, this sounds like depression. And coming home and having to tell my husband that when we're Christians who like are very, I felt very grateful for my life. There was really nothing to complain about, you guys, but I'm telling you, even like waking up after many hours of sleep, making meals, doing laundry, I mean, and doing basic bare bones homeschooling literally felt like it was sucking the life out of me. I felt like I was drowning. So literally I quit. Also, I know that I quit after those first 2 months because I had a lot of guilt knowing that we were spending another, and I say another $150 on me every single month. It was almost $150 for me to do the triplex and the X Factor. This is 7 years ago. And because you have to understand, like we were more of a Dave Ramsey family. And so debt free and trying to save, right? Well, every single time something happened, like something quirky with the car, or literally if somebody at church was sick and we wanted to bring an extra meal, like that was pulled from savings. If we wanted to do anything extra, like homeschooling wise, or go to the aquarium when my parents were in town. Anyway, so the thought of that extra money, I just was like, this isn't worth it. And this isn't working. And I knew, I'm like, I'm not taking this consistently. So I messaged my friend Corey and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed because I gave you my word that I was really going to try this for at least half a year. So that's just number one. Like I quit after 2 months. Guess what though? I came back 7 months later and I was ready. I laid aside all these other supplements that I had. I don't necessarily suggest doing that, but I really took the time to figure out what I was going to lay aside, what was not working for me, you guys. Bloating, constipation, itchy, cracked, gnarly skin on my hand and up my arm that like turned into impetigo. You guys, I was a mess. The mood issues, right? Hormone stuff. 7 months later, I came back and this was another reason why I could have quit. You want to know why I could have quit again? It's because I wasn't taking the products right. And so my detox symptoms were pretty insane. Like my husband came home from work to take care of me. And, you know, I'm so careful when I share that part of my story. I want to be so transparent, but I'm always like, I don't want people to freak out to think that, you know, on our sweet little products, they're going to go through this horrible detox. I wasn't taking the products correctly. Okay. Also, I didn't feel anything until day 18. I had more reason to quit, you guys, but this time I had actually shared with a couple of friends what I was doing and that I had decided to give it at least 6 months and that my husband wanted me to give it at least 365 days because he knew that was like the annual membership fee. Oh my goodness. And so they were taking it with me. And guess what? Because they were feeling better, like one had like way less sugar and carb cravings. And she was so thrilled, like early on within the first couple weeks. Another had more energy and didn't need her afternoon coffee. And then I can't remember my third of what her scenario was, but basically I had these people that had started around the same time as me that were already feeling different. And so I'm so grateful for that we all heal in different ways and in different times. I'll just say this, you know, my first month, by the end of month 1, my hormones were balanced. And it's been like that now for 7 years. I'm now 45. I'm not concerned about menopause, you guys. I'm so grateful for that. But that does not happen to everybody. Sometimes female hormones can take an entire year to balance for some people. I had other friends, right, who were like dropping weight. I'm like, hey, what in the world? I'm not dropping baby weight right now. What in the world? So here I am 7 years later. And guess what? There's another thing that I must share. 6 months in, digestively, I was golden. A year in, I could eat dairy and gluten without getting puffed out of my mind in my gut, which literally made me cry because I had not had French bread and amazing cheese in so long. I was like, dude, oh my goodness, like I feel great. There's no brain fog, no anything. And after year one, like what if I had quit, you guys? After year one, no more seasonal respiratory allergies. You guys, my lungs would close up. Itchy eyes half of the year. I dealt with that since I was a child. That just was like, this is what happens to me every year. You guys, but also by year one, I was making around $5,000 a month with Plexus because I was sharing as I was healing. I was sharing as I was detoxing. I was sharing just as I was going and being transparent with my friends and family on how things were going. So, oh my goodness, the sky is the limit. If you like, number one, like my top 2 tips, don't quit too soon. And number 2, come back. And when you come back, it's not going to be perfect, but get ready for strengthened overall health. No matter what, that's what you got with these products. So thanks so much for letting me share tonight, Jessica.
No, thank you, ladies, for coming on and sharing, and for Gigi for tuning in. And if you can't catch us live, watch the replay. This is seriously a must for everybody. But we really just want you to be encouraged. Like, everyone is on such a different health journey that you can read testimonies all you want, and that's great. And we hope that they inspire you and provide you hope and encouragement, but that might not be your story. You might have something completely different. And maybe you don't even have big health struggles. You're just looking to maintain good health. Okay, that is great. That's what these products are here for. You don't necessarily need to have a complete night and day transformation with these products. Even if you're just looking for more energy, or just to have a daily bowel movement, or to be released from dark demons inside you, like this, like Bridget said, the sky is the limit. There is no health issue that is too minor, and there's no health issue that is too big that you can find hope and healing from. And remember, this team is golden. We have your back 100%. Because so many people have had different results, we can recommend different things for your specific situation for you to try. And it's just like when you go to a doctor, there's going to be things that maybe you try, it's not really working out. Okay, so let's tweak. Don't get discouraged, because let me tell you, I started off that 90 days inconsistent. By month 6, I started having hairs grow back on my head. I just wanted to clarify where, because that can be very vague. Hairs grow back on my head, which for a super thin, fine hair, that was like, what? I can wear my hair up and not feel like I have no hair? This is crazy. My sugar and cravings, like I felt released from like the ice cream and the snacks. I could walk the aisles of Aldi and be like, cool, there's candy, like whatever, and walk right past it. Whereas before, I was sneaking candy in my purse to eat in the car so my kids and my husband wouldn't know. Going to McDonald's late, quickly eating my fries and shoving it in the trash can in the garage so I wouldn't be caught. Like, I felt totally released. And then by like month 10, I had dropped 24 pounds, not with dieting, just by losing inflammation and bloat and seeing those cravings like go away and stuff. So if I had quit after 90 days, if I had quit after 6 months, none of that stuff would have happened. And so, like I said, be committed, be consistent, communicate with people. You don't know what lies ahead, but you also have to be honest with yourself. Just like what BK said, what made me stop and quit? What is hindering me from this? For me, I had to realize I need to like tweak some habits to be a little bit more healthy so that these products can do the thing. If I continue to eat garbage, I'm just feeding the candida more garbage for it to thrive and survive. And maybe for you, it's getting out and moving, or drinking water, or just thinking more positively and having hope, like there is healing. Whatever it is, talk to your friend. We are here for you. Thank you so much for joining. in whatever time zone that you are. And we hope that you also have a story of hope, health, and happiness that you would be willing to share with your friends and family, and maybe earn a little bit of extra fun money or a whole income or who knows what. So peace out.